Hi, it's Kathy from Raven Vintage. Welcome back to 100 Ideas for Envelopes for our Junk Journals. We are going to do a lattice today. I have two different designs here, and I thought I would try one more before we got much further. I want to start out with a piece of paper. I will be using scrapbook paper in a moment. I just want to demonstrate with a piece of paper. But your paper is to be this, start with a piece of paper that's the same size as your envelope. So my envelope is 5 by 7. And in centimeters, that's 12, I have it here, 12.7 by 17.78. That is the actual conversion. So I don't know if you round that up to 13 by 18 or how that works, but so 5 by 7, going 5 wide. And I know this is 8.5 wide. This only goes to 6, so 8.5 minus 7. I'm going to do the opposite. So 8.5 minus 1.5 is 7. And I have a 5 by 7 piece. So I wanted to try one more design, and also show you how I do the lattice. So you just need a good pair of scissors. Just move this out of the way for a moment. So I fold the paper in half. This feels like something we might have done in primary school. And then in half again. And then I just folded it in half. Measurements are not important here. It's just the folding and keeping equal sides just by folding whatever you have in half. So I don't care what this measurement is this way. It doesn't matter, just as long as you are folding edge to edge. And then one more time there. So the other design I wanted to try was two triangle cutouts. I'll show you what the other shape is on the other ones I have there. I'm not sure quite what this is going to look like, but it's a little hard to cut through, but just take your time. Like that. Let's see. I almost feel like I want to do one more, but let's see what that looks like. It's like making snowflakes. So open this back up. One more time. That's kind of neat too. I like that as well. Almost like this one more. I'm going to do today. So what this one looks like, if I fold it back in half and in half again, and then in half and in half one more time, you can see what I did with this one was I cut out like a triangle shape, a large triangle shape just out of the center. So that's the one I'm going to use today. And then one more. And this one, same thing. I did like a scoop, or it's not even a proper half circle. But that's how I did that one. Now, if you wanted to do it properly, you could put something on there and trace a proper half circle. But those are the shapes I ended up with. So you could experiment and do different cutouts. But today this is the one I wanted to do on our envelope. So I'm doing the big triangle. So one more time, you basically fold your paper in half. Make sure your paper is the same size as your envelope. In half again. And then in half lengthwise, and one more time, and do your cutouts. And that's how we're going to get this. I'm calling it a lattice. I'm not sure if there's an actual name for this, but this is what I'm calling it. Lattice, like your garden lattice. Okay, so, and we are going to leave our, this will get glued down in the book like this. Do it this way so it folds off the edge because we're doing the left-hand side of our book. So that's top, bottom. And I just want to leave this white, and I want the lattice to be the paper. Because these are, that one would work. But I think I do want to do the pink. Yeah, I want to do the pink. So let me just trade places with this. Okay. So I'm going to start with my envelopes are 5 by 7. So I want a piece of paper, printable, it's just a printable, that's the same size as my envelope. So I need a 5 by 7. And I really like this here, but I want to catch some of the blue so that it matches the background. So I'm just basically going to take a chunk off of there. So first I'm going to do 5 inches wide on my trimmer here. And again, because my trimmer is only 6 wide, but I need 7. I know that my paper is 8.5 wide. It's an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So 8.5 minus 7 is 1.5. So I'm going to remove 1.5 inches from this to leave me with a 5 by 7. So again, fold in half. In half again. Gosh, this is pretty paper. Okay. And then in half this way. Just meet your ends up here. That. And in half one more time. So to get the desired design that I wanted, oh, let me just double check this part. You see how we have on this side, we have edges that are closed, like folded edges, and on this side we have the open bits, like the open sides. Let me just double check what side we're going to cut from. I had this in my head and now I'm second guessing myself. So do this, do this, do this. Okay. Okay, so see these sides are folded. I cut from the sides that were open. So on this we have one side that has folded edges. There should be 4 folds. And on this side we have the paper open like this. We're cutting from that side, I think. So I'm going to do this kind of just makes me think more of a like a garden lattice than the other shapes. So I'm going here, and then just leave yourself a bit of a margin there, like a little, come down from the edge, come in just a little bit. That's it. These would be great to save to make a little bunting, wouldn't they? Aren't they perfect for a little bunting? We did that right here. We did a bunting just across a. We just took some twine and made our own little bunting. So that's what I'm talking about. That these would be really cute for. Okay. Then let's see what this looks like on our white envelope. If you had a colored envelope, that would be pretty too. Very pretty. Okay, so we have a fair amount of creases in here. If you want to back some of those creases out, just rub on the opposite side. So on the side that See, this crease is on this side. This crease is on the front. I'm just going to smooth by rubbing in the opposite direction of the crease and get rid of some of the creases. It'll lay down more when we glue it, but let's just see if we can't, and be careful not to tear your paper. As we have, turn it this way, we'll get rid of this crease. That. But see how it's already laying down a little bit flatter for me, just from doing a little bit of that. And right there. Beautiful. You can ink yours if you want. I just feel like it's asking for trouble. Which way do I want to do that? Yeah. That I might end up ripping my paper. So I'm just going to take my lattice and start gluing. Whoops. So it's a long weekend, May 2-4 weekend here in where I am, and we have, typically that would be like, yay, but now that I'm retired, it's just like any other weekend. However, this seems to be the weekend that yard sales start. So I am going to get up bright and early tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. I'm going to have my change ready, and I'm going to start touring around. I don't hold my breath on finding too much for junk journal supplies, but you never know. Sometimes you hit those yard sales that have craft supplies, fabrics. I'm not holding my breath that I'm going to find much like vintage books or anything like that. But yard sailing is fun. We call it yard sailing or garage sales. What do you call it? I've heard of a boot sale. Boot. That's what it's called. One of our local museums has one, and I think that's what they call it. I think there is, actually, speaking of museums, I think there's a yard sale at one of our museums. But I got to pick a direction to go. I can't, maybe this weekend do, I don't know, I think I'm going to go, there's a town-wide yard sale in, I think, Jarvis this weekend. Might check that one out. Okay, let me clean up here. So I know what I'm saying tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, but I'm filming. It's probably Saturday when you're watching this, but I'm filming the night before, just so for that very reason, so that I can be ready tomorrow. And then on the inside, we could do the same and then just cut it. I think I might do that. I want to do this on the inside, so we'll trace that. Oops, I got a pen on the outside. This is getting glued down, so I don't need to do that. It was thank you to everyone that responded about what you're called as a grandma. There's some pretty neat names out there. I love that. I talked yesterday about being rah-rah and to my grandkids. And yeah, there's some neat, I knew there would be. It's pretty special. I love it when you let the grandkids figure it out themselves. Okay, so we get that in there. Reach underneath with a little glue. Isn't that pretty for a envelope insert? So pretty. And this is what I've been doing when I see how I'm overlapped? It's just I go a little bit bigger than what the envelope is itself. I suppose I don't even really need to trim it, but I could just do a rectangle and cut it off, but that seems to work. Okay, and then on the inside, so let's get this crease down. So that gets glued down. We can open that up. We can decorate this. Why not? Let's do it. So this one yesterday I mentioned that I pulled out of the printer too fast. Yeah, I have my template here somewhere. It is. Let's make sure it's the right size, basically. So you're okay, Ruby. I'm almost done, honey. It's hot and I haven't turned the air conditioning on yet. I kind of want to hold off as long as I can. Just being cheap, but go. Pretty. Very pretty. And then we'll just cut those white bits off there so we get it. We can cut those off. So we'll just do this. People have started asking me, what are we going to do when the 100 days is over? Well, we have all kinds of projects. I think there's been a couple of requests to do a travel journal, and I am itching to make a journal. So I just haven't decided yet on what style. Altered book, making one from scratch. I probably won't do box board. It's just really, I don't know, it's just not my favorite thing to do. Okay, and then we'll just trim this off to, something stuck on my scissors. Get rid of this white stuff here. And then come down a little further and show more of the pink wallpaper that's just so pretty. Just cut those right off. We can do whatever we want, can't we? And there's a little bit of white showing here, so I am just going to trim this off a little bit. Problem solved. Problem solved. But yeah, that's my lattice idea. Looks like I just made a bit of a weird shape there. Okay, now let's get it in the book and then we'll decorate it a little bit. Here's our big book of ideas. So tomorrow we'll start on another wallpaper design. Surprise you, unless there's any requests. Haven't had any specific requests on wallpaper, and I know there's so many of them. Like I said, I think there's 60 total. Some of those are called samplers, so they just have smaller combinations of them instead of full sheets. But they are JPEGs, so you can resize these. They're all JPEGs. You can resize them. There we go. like that. But my butterfly is bright, so I think we'll do this one. Could do another butterfly. Let's just hang on to him for a second. No, there they are. I think we'll do this beautiful white guy. Like that, and put you in there. Maybe a smaller one up here. I'll just bring that in a bit because so it's not sticking out too much. I know it's getting harder and harder to get things in this book, but that happened last time and we made it all the way to 50, so we'll be able to do it. There we go. Okay, so there's our lattice for today. Trying to remember what day we're on. It's hard to keep. When I'm filming ahead, it's a little confusing. Day 84. Day 84 is lattice. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me again. I know this might be a little of a weird one, but it is one that I had to get out of my brain and onto paper and in the book. So thank you so much for watching. This is the Bespoke Blooms, and it's so pretty. We are done with this wallpaper, and we're going to start a different wallpaper tomorrow. So again, thanks for watching and hanging out with me. And if you go yard sailing, I can't wait to hear what what you guys call it. A boot sale or boot, like a car boot. Like a car boot, by the way, is a trunk. For those of you, the trunk of your car, where you just open up the back of your car, or the hatchback or whatever of your car, and you sell out of the back of your car. That's a boot sale. But if you know, as far as I understand it, but if anybody, maybe now I'm just a little crazy, call me crazy, but I want to add more flowers. Just feel like it needs a little something. That's too big. It's just too big. Yeah, no, we'll stop. We'll stop. Stop, Kathy, stop. Could add a sentiment or something in there. That would be really pretty, but no, this is good. That's the lattice. All right, well, thanks again. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great long weekend. Bye.